Hello classmates, my name is Stephen Pritchie. I'm from the United States, born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and as of 6 months ago, a proud resident of Richmond, Virginia. I played bass, piano, a little bit of drums, but most of my time spent in my DAW, Ableton Live, either helping produce tracks or composing my own electronic dance music. Today I'm going to present a brief how-to on recording an acoustic instrument. To begin, you're going to need to first choose a proper microphone through which to record. Of the two main types of microphones that are available, dynamic and condenser, a condenser microphone is definitely going to be the best fit for this project. Now, while they're not really recommended for performing environments because they tend to capture everything, they're definitely perfectly suited for studio environments and studio recording due to the fact that they're so accurate and they capture all of the sound in the area as it is. So in this instance, I'm going to be using my MXL V63M condenser mic. So I highly recommend this microphone to anyone who's looking for quality on a budget. This microphone has a great frequency response of about 30 Hz to 20 kHz and uses the common cardioid pickup pattern. And for a great studio quality condenser mic, it's only 99 bucks. To connect our microphone, but first you want to make sure you're following standard procedure with everything. You want to make sure your audio interface is turned all the way down, everything. You want to make sure your monitor speakers are off, and you also want to make sure that phantom power is off, which it is. So now we're going to take our XLR cable, which we've learned is not only one of the most common microphone cables, but one of the most efficient cables we can use in the studio setting. And I'm going to take the female end of that right here and plug it into the microphone. Now we're going to take the male end here and plug it into our audio interface. Alright. Now at this point I'm going to go ahead and turn phantom power on. And as you can see right here, we're getting a nice little response on there, the green light. So the next thing we need to be concerned about is mic placement. And with an acoustic instrument such as this guitar, there's two things that you definitely need to consider. The first is the polar pattern of the microphone. Now, this microphone over here, you're going to see has a cardioid pattern. Look at that. That's going to mean that I'm going to want to record with the front of this mic where the logo and the pattern are placed facing me. Otherwise, it's really going to negatively impact this recording. Another thing that you need to consider is what the best spot on the guitar is to record. So, do you want to put it on the frets? Do you want to put it on the sound hole? And since we don't have the luxury here of having multiple microphones, the answer is you want to have it somewhere, in between around the 12th fret, so you can get the sound from the sound hole as well as the high-end gain up here. Now, in an ideal setting, you'd have one at the 12th fret, one at the sound hole in that case. Another thing to consider as well are the acoustics in the area, and if it permits, you want to put the microphone and do the recording from wherever the instrument itself sounds best in the room. Now the next step with my audio interface is to make sure I have the gain set at a proper level. So if it's not set at the right level, we're going to have some distortion. If you set it too high, you're going to have a lot of irreversible distortion. And so that's usually going to be signified by a red light here on my audio interface. So see that red light, that means distortion, not good. You want to keep it usually wherever the yellow indicator is, in the middle. However, it's always best to err low in these situations because it's going to be a lot easier to raise the volume later in the DAW than to try to fix distortion, which is pretty much impossible, and then you have to re-record. So now we've got the mic set in the right place, we've got everything set up correctly, now it's time to record.
So at this point, you're going to want to use the reverse process to disconnect everything. So I'm going to reach over, turn off my monitor speakers here. I'm going to turn the audio interface gain down to 0. And I'm going to shut off my phantom power. Now at that point you can go ahead and remove your plugs from both ends. Now you're all cleaned up.
So yeah, I chose to do this portion on acoustic recording because it's something that I don't have as much experience with, and there's definitely a lot of subtleties that you have to pay attention to. You know, obviously with the microphone hookups, that's one of the most important parts, making sure, you know, monitors turned down, gains turned down, power's turned off before you start plugging in anything, so as not to possibly damage any equipment or just, you know, annoy yourself. But you know, also just finding the sweet spot on the guitar, the sweet spot in the room to record from. A lot of subtleties that you need to pay attention to, and a lot of space for human error in that case. So I find it pretty interesting. Yeah, this has been a really interesting assignment. I don't usually do things like this. I'm sure everybody else feels the same way. But yeah, it's been great. Happy first week. Peace, love, and happiness to everybody. Have a good one.